Hey guys, Don here. I want to talk a little bit today about a lot of marketing. We kind of get taken over by these marketing, ideas, and you kind of go all out, and then it kind of flops down. What I've realized over the years is that change, just like any type of change in life, takes a long time, and it usually goes in like random spurts. Like you get good at something, and then you forget about it, then you go back to it, then you forget about it. It's like learning anything, I think. I remember when I was in this coaching program called Strategic Coach, and they talk about free days, focus days, and buffer days. And basically what that is, in the beginning, when we started in practice, like every day is a buffer day. It's like you're not really doing anything. When you're at work, you're thinking about being with your family, and with your family, you're thinking about being at work. And it seems like a very simple idea, but to implement it, it's quite hard. Okay, it takes a few. We measure things in quarters, so it took a number of quarters before I kind of got into how I could have really good free days. Basically, free days are days in the weekend where I don't think about business, don't do any business, don't check any email, don't do anything like that. That really helped me. That was kind of the benefit of Strategic Coach. If you go there on their website, strategiccoach.com, they have a lot of learning resources, and he does have a little ebook that you can use and just download it for free, put your name and email in there, and you'll learn about those different types of days. So that's the whole idea about learning things and implementing things. So one thing that I did, because everyone recommended it within marketing your practice, is writing a book. If you go to anyone's podiatry practice, you see everyone has this book download. I know Rem Jackson recommends this. A lot of his clients have these books, and sometimes they're like white labeled books, meaning someone else writes it and then you can just use it. What I ended up doing is between patients, I used to just get a Word document and I kind of wrote the book together. And I've talked about this before where I used Fiverr and they laid it out for me. It looked very nice. And I had this wonderful PDF book, but I didn't do anything with it. And now I've changed it a little bit. So if you go to my blog, which is drpelto.com, you'll see that my books are there. And so those are PDFs. Those are nice, and those are going directly to patients. But then one way of thinking about things, like if you take something that's working well, and this is a concept we learn in Strategic Coach, it's called a experience transformer. Basically, you take what's working and you try to expand upon it. And it sounds easier than I'm telling you. Like, this has been years in the making, and a lot of mess ups. So where I'm at currently with these books is I have the book and the PDF, and they're giving them away if people put in their name and email. I give them out to my patients via Patient Education Genius, and they probably don't read them, right? I think anyone knows that. If you give people books, I think they might like the book, they might want the book, but very few people read them. The ones that do read them, though, I find they're already really prepared when they come and see me. So the current thought is the following. I've been using, and I talked before about these shock and awe packages, and I learned this from Dan Kennedy, where you basically send out. So if I have interaction with someone, so for example, I had some interactions with some physical therapists and became friends, and I interviewed them for one of my Healthy Living TV programs, and I gave her the video. And then I sent her this shock and awe package. Basically, it's a couple of books. One book's on Achilles tendonitis, and one book's on plantar fasciitis, with a little cover letter. And the neat thing is I got a follow-up from her, and she said, oh yeah, I took some pictures, and I sent them to one of my patients. So basically, there was some good content in there that she wanted to reshare. And so then I was wondering, well, how in the world can I give these to people? Now, I cheaped out in the beginning. I want to be very clear. In the beginning, I was thinking, I'm going to do this QR code on the book, and then people can download the book, okay? Downloading the book, it's even easier to ignore and not read the book than it is if you have the book. So that's where it led me to doing an actual Kindle book. So Kindle is with Amazon, and it has this Kindle download. You can download it on Kindle. I don't make any money on that. It's not about that, but it's more about this place called, I think it's called, it used to be called Create Space, so that's a different name to it now. But what it is you set up your book there, and you lay it out, and what you can do is you can print it. basically. So you lay the whole thing out, and I did this via Fiverr. I didn't do it. You upload it, and then you can print them, and you can either upload it in black and white or in color, and you just find someone on Fiverr. They can do the whole thing. They do the cover, they do the layout, they do everything for you. But the cool thing is you can print them. You can print author copies. So let's say you might sell it for $10, but author copies are $3. And that's real short money if you're wanting to market to people. So what's my current thought? And so it's progressing. So I ordered like 50 copies of my plantar fasciitis book and 50 copies of my Achilles tendonitis book. And then I thought to myself, well, gosh, that means I'm going to have to go deliver these to these people. And I think that's okay for me delivering them. I wish I had a practice rep, which I don't have. I think some of you might have a practice representative. And so what I'm going back to the drawing board and thinking, well, maybe a better way is to actually send them directly, because they drop ship them. If you don't know what drop shipping is, it means basically you order it and then in a couple weeks it'll show up there. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to order 10 books for these physical therapy places, and I'll send them there, and I'll send them an email. Hey, I'm sending you these 10 books. Once you get through these, giving them to your patients that you want to, that you think it's appropriate, then let me know and I'll send you more. So that's an easier workflow, and it's all done through your Amazon account. So it's really easy to send it. So if you have a business Amazon account or someone else has access to it, it's very easy that once you save their address in there, you can resend it out. So I'm going to be sending these to the local shoe stores, who we send people to all the time, but they're seeing tons of people. And I tried to go cheap in the beginning with these QR codes and downloads. It's just better to give them the book. It's $3. So let's look at the numbers here. So it's $3 per book. Let's say I do 50. That's $150. Maybe I think they charge like $20 for shipping. I think that's how they get you actually in these things, is the shipping and handling. But it's a nice colored book. If you want to, you can kind of look at what it looks like on one of my that Dr. Pelto site. And you can, and then basically I'll print those out and I'll send those to them. So to avoid me having to go there, I'm just going to send them directly. They'll drop ship and they'll let me know. A couple of other add-ons, you could do like a little book, these little book things to hold them sitting upright. That's one option. Another option I thought is you could also add the QR code on the front of the book, or like a little label. So if, like, let's say it's the last book, people can download it. I don't know. I think the whole downloading thing is good, but it's even easier to ignore something that you download than it is something that you print or you actually have in your hands. So we'll see. So what's the return on that? Well, if I do 50 books and one person comes in, that really pays for the book itself in giving them. And I think they appreciate it, like the physical therapy places, the shoe stores. I also have the same thing with a diabetic, because we don't do diabetic shoes in our office. So I have the same thing with a diabetic shoe vendor. I'm just finding less and less people like to do these shoe things. But I do give them like a book that I put together on diabetes in your feet and another on wound care. So I started out cheap, and now I'm actually printing them and giving to them. So I'd like to know your feedback about this. If you guys are using books, how they're helping your practice. Are you printing them? Are you doing them like actually just PDF downloads? How are you writing them? What's the workflow? My workflow has been using virtual assistants to help with that stuff, but I stopped. I was thinking when I started I was going to do like this Dan Sullivan guy that I sent you. I told you, strategic coach. He does one a quarter, so every 3 months he's doing a book. And that's where I got the inspiration for doing this. And then I did like 5, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I didn't really want to do a book on warts or a book on fungal toenails or things. I just kind of got bored of it. I find videos a little bit easier, and I think people read videos more, but I think there is a place for a book. It takes place, you can't ignore it, and it has your contact information on there. Well, tell me what you think. Don at Podiatry Practice Mastery. I'd love your feedback, and have a great day.